coordinators, that position has been around for a number of years. And there are even some units that have people that are listed as new unit coordinators. However, my guess is they've never done the training. So we're going to explain to you and those of you who are online eventually about how to do that training. Um, so, this is the purpose for tonight. So, helping tonight, Lori Beitler, who's the Looking Glass Assistant District Commissioner. She's also over here in Looking Glass, our Cub Scout Roundtable Commissioner. Reed Bilbrey, who is the Council VP of Marketing and the Looking Glass District Chairman. Joe Grzinski, Unit Growth Executive. He is our IT person, and I hope he can write legibly so I can tell who was at this thing tonight, because he's keeping track over there. And of course, I introduced myself, and Kid Sidwell is here. He's the Daniel Boone Council VP of Membership. So what we're talking about tonight is basically two positions. We're going to talk about the recruitment coordinator and the new member coordinator. They can be two separate people. They can be the same person. The training for this position is under new member coordinator. So there is a code for that. And our goal is to get more people from the unit to help with this. So it's not just the Cub Master, it's not just the committee chair that is handling all of these things. And we're gonna talk a little bit here in just a second. I'm gonna show you some slides. Ken is gonna talk about, we're gonna start with membership numbers. So Ken is gonna talk about some retention comparisons.
All right, so good evening, everyone, and thank you all for joining us here and online. So my name is Ken Sidwell. I'm the VP of Membership for the council and also a local volunteer and scout dad myself. One thing that I've talked a lot about since coming into my position on the board as VP of Membership is retention. We can recruit, we can bring new scouts in all the time. And we've done, and you'll see some of that here in just a minute, a really good job of bringing in those new scouts. Where we need some help and some attention with, and this is where some of this training and the purpose of it comes into play, is retention. So last year, from a council perspective, we finished right around 54% of our scouts from a retention standpoint. Not really bad, but not that great. And you can see on the slide here, this is really here to give you some perspective of where we kind of fall in line from a retention standpoint month over month. So you can see April looks really good, and I don't want to overshadow that with what we're getting ready to go through, but you can see, and you should anticipate May's numbers coming in right around 45, 46%. We do see a drop coming in May. We anticipate that as scouts cross over, school season starts to wrap up, we do lose a few here. So while we don't have May numbers finalized yet, that's where I anticipate based upon past results of us coming into play. So again, really great in April, but you can see in comparison to our CST 15 area as far as where we finished in comparison to those districts, those councils, and then also in comparison to national. So we're a little behind the curve of keeping scouts here once they get involved, right? So at the end of the day, that's what that number means. So when you look at it from a new member perspective coming in, really good spring recruiting season this year, bringing in 41, and these are across all districts within council. I want to draw your eye to September though, right? Huge membership jump in September of last year, and most of you all recall that was the first year that we did the Family Fun Fest, right, at the Tanger Outlets in Asheville. huge thanks to all the people and the man hours, including Mr. Bilbray here, who was a key part in helping drive that last year. Resounding success with over 1,000 people showing up to this event. We had no idea how many people were going to come, just to be 100% candid. And when we put it together and we launched it, it was a huge success. Now, great job bringing those people in, bringing those new scouts in. But what we saw is, and historically, we see a drop or a runoff in the fall. And part of it, just to be transparent with you all, as we talk to parents, we talk to scouts, you get some feedback at the unit level, why they are leaving. And the results are pretty consistent around, oh, the unit is not active enough for me, or, oh, I didn't get what I was looking for out of it. I thought we were going to do more camping. I thought we were going to do activities or this or that. And then one of the things that came up was around cost. So last year, probably January or February, I approached the board and I made a motion to begin to find some council assistance from a cost perspective. And the board approved, and you all have seen some of that benefit last year from a membership assistance fund, an $85 membership assistance fund discount to new scouts that were coming in. We also gave an assistant fund to new scout leaders because scouts need scout leaders and adult volunteers. And hopefully, those of you who are new and have joined scouting in the past year have seen some of that at a personal level from a cost savings perspective. Now, if you guys like numbers the way I do, that was just shy of $30,000 that we gave out last year in membership assistance fund to new scouts and adult volunteers just at the Daniel Boone Council. So, you know, a lot of people come and they say, hey, well, we need council's help with this, or we need some assistance from council. That is a clear reflection of your board working for you all, the boots on the ground, the people who make a difference in scouting every day. So when we talk about the runoff, the retention, I want you to really take into consideration that as we go through the rest of this training tonight. So looking at memberships by district, you can kind of see April over April, year over year results. Again, we look really good from bringing new members in. The work that you all are doing and the work that council is doing is all working. We're bringing in new scouts. Our numbers look good from as far as those new scouts coming in, but what we want to do is be mindful of what's happening to them when they come in, right? Because at that point in time, from a council perspective, we've put that support out there. We've helped drive them to the units. We've helped you bring them in. It's now is your moment to shine as far as keeping them engaged and providing a good quality program for those scouts.
Does everybody know what district they're in? You're Mount Mitchell, y'all are Falling Waters. Okay.
All right, so again, what we're talking about tonight are two very important positions that will help provide some triage during our anticipated fall drop, if you will. So you can see from a membership number perspective, you all can read, I'm not going to read through all the numbers, you can see where the trend is, right? And I think it's important from a perspective situation that this is not just a Daniel Boone Council identified concern. This is something that's a very big talk at the national level around membership and retention. What I want to make sure that we do within our council is to, hey, provide you with the numbers. You all can have some transparency and see where we're at from a membership and retention standpoint, and begin to help us keep and retain some of the scouts that we have all worked so very hard with and put a lot of resources and time in to help get to the finish line. Let's just help provide a good quality program for them and help them keep here.
And granted, even though we had Hurricane Helene, which definitely made an impact and impacted some units much more than others, and some parts of districts more than others, it's still, and they are aware of that at National. So every child that we recruited in 2024 through all of that, we need to be able to hang on to. And so that's what we're looking So recruitment is extremely, extremely important.
All right. Good evening, everybody. My name is Reed Bilbray. I'm the VP of Marketing for the Council. I'm also the Looking Glass Chair. I'm also the proud parent of two girls who are Star Scouts. We started off as Lions and Cubs and went all the way through. I'm an Eagle Scout myself, having gone through the program, so I'm very passionate about the program. And I just want to acknowledge and thank everybody for participating tonight. This group that's on Zoom and here in person, you are officially deputized as your unit's mouthpiece and trainer and messenger to help us get the word out about scouting for the 2026-27 year. A recruitment coordinator is a position that we're encouraging every unit to have. This is not a position that is registered. They do not need to be a registered leader, just a parent, concerned supporter, passionate youth leader that would be in your unit. In some units that are small, sometimes it's one of the key three, right? The Cub Master, the Scout Master, the committee chair, but this is really an opportunity for a micro job of about 3 months for a low lift for one person to say, my job is to figure out how my unit is going to connect with our community, whether that is through your church sponsorship, whether that's through your school or the several schools that you pull from, or from a neighborhood or several neighborhoods, or the PTOs or PTAs. So the primary, this person, you know, it's a 3-month assignment, and you're kind of starting about now, and you're going to be finished in September, right? And whether this person is good with technical skills or speaking skills, it doesn't require specific set of skills, just someone who's willing for 3 months to do a few things. This recruitment coordinator job, you can read this description. There's nothing here that is out of the ordinary. The two key items, you know, for this is really to identify where your unit's youth come from and to encourage the youth that you have in your current program and those organizations to come and ultimately attend a unit joining night. So if you think about the marketing campaign, it's a very simple exercise of getting the word out and to get as many people as possible to come to a unit joining night or visit a couple of scout meetings, right? We've learned statistically since COVID, our recruiting model has shifted in that there's 80+% of the folks that are joining are not joining at your first meeting. They're not joining at the first time they see you at Meet the Teacher night. They are coming and they want to have 2, sometimes 3 visits. And that's why it's so important for there to be a recruitment coordinator to know who these people are, to help funnel them along the process so they feel part of the organization. So there are numerous strategies and techniques for a unit to follow. This is a list of Sue, but I'm going to simplify it down. There's 2 basic ways to think. The first one is to recognize where are parents looking, okay? Think of yourself as a parent. The parents are the ones that are making the decision about what their child is going to get involved in. And where are they looking? Surveys from National indicate that 60% of all parents determine what program activity that their kids are going to get involved in through the school, right? It's where the kids in the school are going. It's who's affiliated with the school. So 60% is the school. Yes, churches and others, play, but predominantly it's schools. Number 2, and this probably should not be a surprise, but number 2 is 44% is a friend. Whether that friend is on the soccer team, they're in the theater, they're in church, they're a neighbor, it's friends. Every other source beyond that is 20% or below. So if you just think as a unit, simply focus on the school and focus on friends. Now, I know that from some of our units, so let's just talk about schools for a second. So Some schools we have easy access to that the district executive can go in and have a school day. There are some units that we know that we can't get into the school. But if you're thinking about the school, there's some resources out there, and if you have some very specific challenges that you don't know how to overcome, talk to your district executive, talk to your district chair, talk to your unit commissioner, or feel free to reach out to me, and we can get very, very tactical on some ideas. But regarding the schools, remember, everything is a funnel from when you're kicking off to get folks to come to your unit joining night. So the key items there is identifying an opportunity to go to school on a Meet the Teacher Day. Many of our units are able to do that. Some are not able to do that. But that's the day before school starts, a couple days before school, when all the kids are coming through, and you can have a booth there and a table in uniform with some activities, gathering information, and flyers on your unit to pass out. Council has a lot of swag or giveaways for that. Bookmarks and pencils and wristbands and beascout.org cards, and your DE will customize for you a flyer that you can have there with a QR code that goes back to your beascout.org pin. So all of those physical resources are available to you from the council. Just order them through your DE, and that you would have that to Meet the Teacher Day. Some schools allow you to also have a scout rally where you as a leader or the district executive or combined can go to a school and go talk at cafeteria lunch, or talk on the PE field, or in the gym, or in the classroom. You're probably familiar with that. If you can have access, you probably know that your unit does. Talk to your district executive to see if that's something that you can do. Those are highly, highly effective tools because you're giving a flyer out. The third element with the school is that flyer. In the ideal scenario, you want that flyer to go home to the schools. The DEs can go print the 300 or 600 or 900 flyers that are needed. The DE can deliver them to the school, or you can deliver them to the school and get distributed home to the kids. Ideally, you want that about 10 days to 2 weeks before your joining night, right? So there's still that urgency and sense to a call to action. If you're having challenges with school access, or even if you don't have school access, there's 2 guerrilla warfare or guerrilla marketing tactics that some units deploy to high effectiveness. The first is getting those beascout.org yard signs, which are free from council. If you want 5, ask your DE for 5. If you want 30, ask for 30, right? Think about having that. And so this is putting these yard signs out 2 weeks ahead of time or so before your joining night, and you're going to put them in the school right-of-way line. If you can't get on school property, go to the public right-of-way right beforehand, okay? Yes, the county or city may come and pull them up, but these are bandit signs that you see, all right? Put them at your meeting location. Think about the pattern where if parents are stopping at the local Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts on the way, and get a couple of these signs out, right? So these are free, high visibility. Another one that a couple of units have done, on one of their early beginning days of school, they get permission from the principal to stand at the car rider line with kids and scouts with a sign and flyers, and roll the windows down and passing a flyer out for folks, right? You got to get permission for it. But again, it's seeing and be seen during that kind of week of time.
I might also say that I have seen schools where the adults were dressed in uniform and helped in the car rider line opening doors.
Yes.
In the beginning.
Yeah. Great.
And that was a good thing.
And then the last item would be for the school is a lot of our schools have videos and have broadcast capabilities that they do. We've had some units and district executives will actually go and for that 30 seconds or 60 seconds get a chance to go and talk about scouting, mention the school night around with the flyers going. There are videos available that you can download from national, scouting.org/recruitment. There's hundreds of videos designed to be very short, and those can be played at a school. So again, we can go more on that, but tactically the school and getting where the kids are Whether you get direct school access or you've got to get a little guerrilla marketing, this is the highest and most important. The second, at 44% is friends. This is a wonderful opportunity for us to empower and leverage our youth to go invite their friends and their neighbors to come. You know, you get your friend in, you stay in the program. So there's a recruiter strip. Many of you probably know that. If you don't, there is a recruiter strip. A youth recruits a new member, they get a recruiter strip. Make that a big deal. The council has postcards or little cards that you can get where you can get them, they don't cost you anything. And they can be given to parents and they can be given to the scouts in order to pass out to them kind of an invite. Some PACs will actually have a meeting, before school year starts to kind of get yourself organized. They'll bring a stack of postcards and they'll have the kids sit there and think of who are your 5 kids or who are your 10 kids and write the list and write a note, please come see me, attach that to the scout flyer that has your scout recruitment date and pass them out. And then if you have emails or make it easy, put it on your Facebook page and things like that at all. But those are two different groups and a key spot.
So I know that everybody that's on this call that belongs to Looking Glass is going, Reed said, get with a DE 12 times. Have no fear. We can't say anything, but one is coming. So to be
announced.
Not
determined, announced
shortly. We're sworn to secrecy. Anyway, also, it's kind of a challenge for troops. Cub Scouts, we all basically have a school. Troops have middle schools with several elementary schools. So that can be a little bit of a challenge, but talking to some of your neighboring troops, you may be able to come up with an idea. I've seen troops that on Meet the Teacher Night, yes, they still have them in middle school, have set up a display out there with the boys. It is harder to recruit in middle school. However, where Reed says your friends, that's what pulls those middle schoolers, is friends inviting friends. And the other part of this is because Cub Scouts are so important for feeding the packs, those troops need to be out there whining and dining the packs. So everybody who's from a pack, you can always just stick your chest out and tell those scouts, those troops, that if it wasn't for you, they wouldn't have anybody coming. So that was one position. This position is the one that is a registered position. And there is a code for it. And people can multiple, okay? But we would prefer that they didn't, because most of those people that are in your units, especially if they're smaller, already have a job, or 2, or 3, okay? Lori's up.
Good evening, I'm Lori Beitler. I'm the Assistant District Commissioner for Looking Glass District. So a lot of things we're talking about tonight, at the end of this, you might say, well, the new member coordinator was so similar to the other position that was talked about. Well, I'll tell you a little bit about what the differences are. So new member coordinator, as Wendy said, you can actually register as that position. But again, we are of the mindset that we want every unit, whether it's a pack or troop or crew, to have someone acting as the new member coordinator. If it's just a parent, and I don't say that lightly, I just say that to differentiate between a registered person and a non-registered person. So you could have just a parent doing it, but we want you to have someone doing it, okay? And the idea is that this person will be taking some of these extra duties off traditionally what has fallen upon your scout masters, your cub masters, and your committee chairs. So the new member coordinator, again, to differentiate from the recruitment person we just talked about, is kind of the person that begins their job when you get people in the door, whether they've signed on the dotted line yet to join your unit or not. So their action starts when somebody comes to visit you or someone newly joins. The other person is more involved in what are you doing to get the people to actually show up. So that's the main difference. This person is just kind of a smiling, welcoming face that greets newcomers and tries to establish friendly, enjoyable relationships with new folks so that they form a strong sense of belonging both to scouting and to the group of people that make up your unit. We don't want this person to do it all, right? We don't want them to coordinate recruitment, onboard new youth and their families, follow up, on and on and on. They're meant to be part of a team. And yes, your scoutmasters, cub masters, and committee chairs can be part of that team too. The more people you have kind of working together to make recruitment and welcoming new folks happen, the better. So this person's piece of the puzzle is to kind of be the face. And yes, there are many more folks that can also greet people and welcome them. But this person specifically is there to welcome new folks and say, oh, hey, are you new tonight? Do you mind to sign in on this sheet so we can get a little bit of contact information? Oh, is this your child? What grade are they in? Okay, so Mr. Tim's going to be your den leader. Let me walk you to the room. We all try to, at least on the Cub Scouts side, try to have a sign-up night that's a specific night. But as Reed said, odds are when I do it, I get a lot of emails saying, oh my gosh, my child brought the paper home and I was supposed to come sign up last Thursday, but we had something else going on that night. We couldn't come. Can we come a different night? Can you help me figure out when that is? Do you always meet on Thursdays? Whatever. So you might have folks showing up, the week after your special sign up night, or the week after that, or the week after that. You never know. So that's part of the piece of the puzzle that this unit new member coordinator is there for, to be the welcome person. And you probably want them to be identifiable. So actually National has a swag you can buy with that welcome little bubble symbol on it. They have t-shirts, they have polo shirts, they have hats, or, I'm showing my age here, but when I was young, people used to wear these really big pin-on buttons that said, lose weight now, ask me how, and it was actually some kind of like multi-level marketing thing, right? But it's kind of the same idea. You're a visible version of join Scouts now, ask me how, but you want that person to be identifiable as the person that they say, okay, we had a nice visit, what's our next step? So that's your go-to person and your welcoming face for people who are visiting or folks that have just newly joined. So again, ensuring that all new members feel a sense of belonging. Folks in the beginning have so many questions. And that's a good point person to send them to, because sometimes, your scoutmasters and cub masters are busy trying to get the year going and doing multiple things, and they don't always have time to talk to a new parent in the corner who has questions about, well, do we always have to wear a hat? Or so your new unit new member coordinator can kind of take some of that on to help other folks in your unit. Again, it could be an unregistered parent. Just try to identify somebody that's a good people person, that's friendly. You probably don't want a newish parent, because you want someone that can answer more of these questions about how your troop works or how your pack works.
So one of the things that when I was talking to a unit and an adult about being the new member coordinator, we'll get that term. I said, and he's a new parent. Did you have questions? What kind of deer in the headlight looks did you have? And even though this was at the end of the year, he could still remember some of those things. It's also that person who, let's say your unit, it can be a troop, it can be a pack, has t-shirts, and you've already handed out t-shirts, and the extra ones are in a box, and there's that parent who hasn't gotten it yet, and somebody said, I'll get it for you, and then there's 6 other things that are going on. this is a great job. The new member coordinator goes and gets those t-shirts and makes sure that that child walks out with a t-shirt. So there's a lot of ways to utilize this person.
Okay, so there is an official training for this position of new member coordinator. And again, even if you're not a registered adult in Scouting America, you as a parent can go on and make a my.scouting.org account. So you go to your my.scouting account, click My Training, and then that takes you to the white background page that shows your safeguarding youth if you've taken it at the top. But under that, it shows all the boxes like Scouts BSA and Cub Scouts and venturing that you can click on to find further training within each one of those categories. So click on My Training, and then that page with all the little boxes, you're going to click Position Specific. And then that takes you to another menu, and one of the choices there is New Member Coordinator. It's 43 minutes. It's a little different than any other online training I've ever taken in that when you get about 5 minutes to the end of it, it tells you, okay, well, you've done this part, but there's one tiny little more part, and you get to choose. And it has an A, B, C, and D little mini 5-minute module. And it says you're not officially trained until you take this part you just took, and one of those, your choice from A, B, C, or D, and then it'll show those, and then you click on one of them. And then when you finish one of those letter ones, then you're officially done. And I know I'm just blathering on, and it's not written down anywhere, but I promise I will type it up and get it sent out along with the replay of this so folks can see that.
I'm not sure if you can go back and take the other.
You can, I did, but I'd have to go fool around with it and see how you do that.
Yeah, so.
I believe you would have to do it at the time you took whichever letter you chose. You can't, after the fact, once you close it out and move on, you can't go back and find it, I don't believe.
I kind of chose one that was maybe a little bit longer, and it wasn't so much about the information about the unit, how the units are set up. I kind of did the other one. Now I don't even remember what it was. Okay, so Lori's back. Is this Lori? Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to say a role that I feel like a new member coordinator can fill, and that is, I apologize if people are already familiar with all this, but I'm covering it in case there's some folks who don't know all of this. Okay, so when someone from the public wants to join a unit, doesn't matter what level of unit, they go to beascout.org, and then they click on, do they want Cub Scouts or Scouts BSA Troop or whatever. And then that generates a little report that goes to the key 3 of your unit. And on the unit side, it's called Invitation Manager. And then a little thing pops up that says, whatever, Susie Jones is interested in Cub Scouts at your pack XYZ, and here's her contact information. And it does allow the person to put a line or two about, hey, how many 4th graders do you have? My kid's a 4th grader, and I just wanted to know how many would be in their group or whatever. But sometimes people don't put anything in that section. But so it comes to the key 3. And I believe it only can go to the key 3 or someone who acts as your COR. But I'm a key 3, and oftentimes it's so hard to keep up with those, and especially if you make the initial contact to the person and then they have more questions for you and you're like, oh, I'm doing 80 other things, I really don't have time to get back to this person. So to me, a really key role that the unit new member coordinator can play is to have one of the key 3 just pass on the invitation. Hey, Susie Jones, here's her email. She's got a 4th grader or whatever. And then they can reach out on behalf of the pack. So again, that would be a real time saver to some of us in units that have that a lot. It's just one more thing on our long list of things to do, especially if you're the person who does it on the regular. You kind of get to know what questions people ask and good responses and things like that. So that is a great thing for someone in that role to do to help everybody else in the unit out. So explore resources. There are some other things online from National and from other councils. Training, again, it's on my.scouting.org. You have to mess around in there a little bit to find it. And again, we'll type up the directions so people can find that. Reach out to the folks at the office, to your DE. Generally, the DEs know the schools in your area. They know what's going on. They know about community events in your area. Even if they can't attend a specific event, again, they can help you with all the flyers. They can maybe make some phone calls for you to get you in good somewhere. And then, again, I think the most important takeaway is several folks in your unit should be the team that takes this on, okay? More than just the two positions we talked about tonight. You need support from all your key players and work as a team, because recruitment can be a big job. Somebody's going to be in charge of whether you're putting flyers at the school or whatever. Somebody's going to be in charge of meet the teacher. Somebody's going to follow up with people who are visiting. So it really does take a team, and then hopefully we can get some good payoff from all of this. Thank you.
So we're going to talk about the plan here in just a second. Reed's going to talk about that. But this made me think, we're talking to the professionals for their help, but we're also sharing with the professionals things they may not know that are happening. Like, I know that in Haywood County, they went to the Haywood County Fair or something, which it's possible, hi Ryan, I know he's on there, may not have known about, but telling him, hey, we have this opportunity, and there were several units that were a part of that here in, and anybody can come. Here in Henderson County, we have the 4th of July parade, and that scouts are going to be in, and we have the last couple of years. So we handed out a lot of business cards before. A lot of those kids were not even, they're here with their grandparents, but it didn't matter. But we did pick up some kids. So again, the professional may not know about that, but as volunteers, we know, so sharing with the professionals is important from that side too.
Thanks, Wendy. And Lori, I loved your whole membership thing. I know this whole thing that we're doing tonight is the first time we've done this on the council, and to try to bring this all together. So, I mean, just thanks to everybody. But Lori, that was the first time you've ever made the presentation on the membership position, and it's going to be a critical piece for us this year. So this next slide is an action item list. So everybody here that's in person, I gave a printout of this. For those of you scouters that are online, I encourage you to take a snapshot right now with your phone or on your computer of this slide in particular. They're going to email the slides out afterwards, but I would encourage you to use this list and get this to your key three, get this to anybody involved in your unit as the key item checklist for success. We've been developing this action item list over the last couple of years, and I can tell you wholeheartedly that the units that execute all these 12 points, every unit that reports they executed these 12 points, all grew in membership and grew in retention. Okay? Each of these items that are on this list, you know, as opposed to thinking about it being overwhelming, you know, you heard me mention in my last comments about a micro job, right? So if you think in terms of these various executable items that we're talking about for recruitment and for membership, in terms of a micro job, and to go ask a parent, would you please be responsible for this? It'll take you 1 day, 1 hour, 1 month, or something like that. We feel that strategy might help us to start bringing in some of these parents, so we're not all burning ourselves out at each end. So congratulations to all the units that are here, because you've already done number 1 and number 2. Some of you may be the same person. Some of you may be rapidly trying to figure out who you're going to hand it off to, but we can start this off, because this whole meeting and kickoff and getting the Zoom out to all the other units is designed for us to get into the mindset of our 26 to 27 scouting year, which effectively starts when school starts back up in August and September. So congratulations, we're off to that. The number 3 item, Ken put up a lot of numbers about how the council is going. So each of you obviously know how many scouts that you have in your unit. In prior years, there has been a lot of communication from council and from the DEs to say, you need to recruit 25 people. You need to recruit 10 or 15 based on your size and your school. So there's this number out there that says, that's called total available youth, okay, of the markets that we serve. Our council right now is serving less than 2% of youth in our service area. At our peak, when we had over 15,000 youth, we were serving in Western North Carolina over 25% of youth in Western North Carolina. Now, that's not for us to get depressed and woe us. Every youth serving organization has had the same decline. Scouting is not unique. So this number 3 item here is we're recommending and encouraging every unit to have an honest conversation with themselves that the number to kind of hit. This is a national standard. They're saying the goal that a unit should strive for is 1.5% net growth. So that's the number of scouts that come in, less the number of scouts that leave, which means at the end of the scout year, you have more scouts. If collectively all of our units do 1.5% net, we'll have record growth and retention in our council. And it's that concept that we have an equal amount of attention on recruiting and an equal amount of attention on retention, and we have these different hats that people are taking. So if you have 20 scouts in your unit now, you're going to historically lose potentially a third to a half of them. They move, they transfer, they get into soccer, they don't like whatever. So, that helps you figure your number out. And if you have trouble calculating that or whatever, ask your DE. Number 4. Number 4 of all of these items, we'll say they're all important, but from a retention standpoint, the data clearly shows from surveys that National's done that a unit that lays out their annual calendar will have higher retention because a parent is joining and they can plan out their year. Now that doesn't mean you have to have every activity figured out, but when do you meet? When are your PAC meetings? When are your courts of honor? If you're a troop, is it always the 3rd weekend that you're doing a camp out? Clearly exceptions can be changed during the year, but to have that program calendar, a lot of units are already having their unit annual planning meeting, but that is critical to have that done and have that available on your website or on a 1-sheet piece of paper at recruitment night, okay? Very, very simple. Parents love that. It conveys like a sports league, like the dance studio, like your church youth group, like the soccer team. You get the list, this is the dates, you're in, and that's how it's going to work, right? If you don't provide one, the parent's going, I have no idea what to expect. I can't manage my time. I can't balance my child's time and activities. I don't trust you. You're not organized enough yet. So critical item. Items number 5, 6, and 7. These are digital elements. There's detail on our Daniel Boone Council website. You go to danielboonecouncil.org. I think it is under the membership tab or unit resources tab. There's actually there's a video or a detailed description of each of these 3 items here. If you don't know anything about these or no one in your unit does, you can ask your DE, you can reach out to me. Every unit has a beascout.org pin, because that's set up by National. That pin can be audited and changed by your key 3. It is absolutely critical that you look at that entry and make sure that the name, the phone number, and the address and the description of your unit is current and accurate. National, whatever you think about National does or doesn't do, the one thing National does do is they spend significant sums of money to keyword and offer anyone looking for youth activities and youth organizations near me. They spend a significant amount of money. They own the space, and beascout.org, if there is a unit, if there is a scouting unit in the area, and there's a parent that searches online for a youth program near me, guaranteed 100% a beascout.org unit in that area is going to pop up in the top paid search area, okay? And that doesn't cost us anything. National is doing it. If your information is wrong, you will lose people, okay? And that circles back to what Lori was talking about, that whoever is getting those emails or those messages, follow up. Last year nationwide, 62% of all people that went to beascot.org and went to a unit and asked a question, okay, about when is your joining night, or can you tell me about your calendar? 62% of those questions from a parent nationwide went unanswered last year. So it's a big campaign to kind of get that out. So it's a key item. A Google Business Profile Audit. If you have no idea what a Google Business Profile Audit is, is every unit a number of years ago, we set these all up. So theoretically, every unit still has one. This is when you do a search for Scout Troop near me or Cub Pack near me. This is when your unit pops up, much like it would pop up for the local donut shop or the local doctor or the local gym. And it pops up off to the side, and it has a map, and it has photos, shows the address, directions to your location. So every unit, unless your unit was formed in the last year or two, maybe you didn't get it set up, every unit has one. If you do not know if you have one, when you get back to your home, search for it, see if it pops up. Either your DE has access to edit it, or you do, or most of the units set up with their remaining unit email. So there could be some challenges on that. There's some resources on our council website that can help you in it. But that PIN, I will tell you, that Google Business Profile is as critical as your beascot.org PIN. Because as parents are looking, that shows that you're a legitimate organization with a legitimate location that either goes back to your website or your Facebook page that you can have access, all right? The third is a Facebook page audit. Most of our units do have a Facebook page, a public Facebook page. If you don't, get one up, but most do. Audit that and make sure you've got some current photos up and some current posts up. And this is something that council does for those units that choose to aggressively use their Facebook page. If you have a Facebook page for your unit, you want to set up an event for your joining night on your Facebook page. And if you do that, council will run a geo-targeted ad for the 2-week period of time prior to your joining night to drive traffic and awareness in people digitally to your joining night. The packs that do that geo-target area will be around your meeting location and extend out to the feeder school, so that as moms and dads are going to pick up and drop off, or they're driving around the neighborhood near your meeting location, if they're on Facebook, and the vast majority of parents that have young kids are on Facebook, the data shows it's the #1 lead generator source, they will see an ad for your Facebook page. And for those units that are very, very active and smart, you'll get all of your parents that are in your unit to go say they're attending that event on Facebook. And by doing that, the ads that council will run to promote your event, those ads, because your parent liked it and said they're going to the ad, that ad will now follow and hit the friendship groups of those parents, right? So it's really, really strong tactical coverage. We're only talking about $20 worth of ads from council, but there is money and budget to do that. Number 8. So when we talk about the Scout year kicking off, Ken was mentioned in his remarks about our Family Fun Fest Scout Show that's scheduled for August 22nd. So there'll be a slide with a little more detail on this one afterwards. We finish this list, but this event is designed to be our official kickoff season. Most of our schools have had a joining night, or a meet the teacher night, or the flyers have gone out or whatever, because school has started by that time, or is about starting for most of our areas. And so the idea is, and this worked out very well last year, units that were passing out flyers, that were at the school meeting nights, the Meet the Teacher rally, were inviting their folks to come see us, come see our booth, come have a fun day at the Family Fun Fest, because we market this as a Family Fun Fest. We had over 1,000 people attend last year. It was very popular. But the actual number one goal of the Family Fun Fest, ironically, was not to get more scouts to join. That was the number 3 reason. The number 1 reason was branding scouting, because we put a lot of money on the radio and on TV and in press releases and working community papers to get the word out that scouting is alive and well, to get our brand awareness up. The second, but frankly the most important purpose is it's an opportunity for all of our units and all of our scouts to get together at the beginning of a school year and have a great fun day. It was the first time in over a decade that all scouts in Daniel Boone Council got together at one time. The Cubs, if you think about it, if you're a Cub pack, how often do you interact and see a whole bunch of troops? Maybe when you get to Weeblos Woods, or if you pop up at Cub Parent Weekend, but you don't get the vastness of how many older kids are there. And for the older scouts, right, tying them back into being able to be role models and examples to those Cubs and to see what the program can be if they stay in. So the ability for the Family Fun Fest and Scout Show for us to be a retention play is very, very critical, and was an important element that seemed to kind of connect. So, and it's a fun event, right? So if you haven't signed up, then please sign up. Talk about it a little more in a second. Number 9 is scheduling your Meet the Teacher date. Some units have already set that up because they know when their units are. Sometimes you have to wait till the principals come back in middle of July, end of July, beginning of August. But you want to figure out when that Meet the Teacher date is at school, when you're going to go stand in line or whatever. Setting your joining night event. That joining night event should be scheduled right now. Your packs are in the units are stopping to meet, not getting out. Pick that date. A number of units say that joining night should be the 2nd or 3rd meeting after their pack starts meeting for the year, or after their troop starts meeting again for the year. So you have a chance to get your scouts and parents all together, so that joining night event can be a fun event with the scouts and the kids that are running the activity, and then the parents can be peeled off and run down the scripts that we all follow in order to educate the parents about what's going on. Trying to close those scouts that night, but those units spend a lot of effort to say, great, here's all the information. Why don't you come back next Monday night or next Tuesday night and see about us where they can actually meet in their small dens or their small patrols. Last element on this from the joining night, and Wendy mentioned this, the troops. For all of our troops that are here tonight, I would encourage you to be involved with your pack for their scout joining night, and at other times of the pack. But on that pack joining night, we have had troops who have had a parent show up with their kid who got the flyer at their elementary school, and the family's hearing about it, but the older brother or older sister is coming along. And they can see scouts, and they've recruited those scouts at that time because that family is already predisposed to scouting. Or those parents are seeing the older scouts, and they're going, this is not just for little Johnny or little Jane to come in and I want them to go do some backpacking and camping. Well, that's for the older kids, and they can see those older kids in action. So a great, great connection. The last two items on this list is, from that joining night, is to have two very specific assigned dates for parent orientation and leader recruitment meeting. Some units do those separate, and some do them together, whatever culturally. But the key is to separate the joining night, get the kids signed up, but then to have an official onboarding, all hands on deck parent meeting, and orient them to the calendar for the year. And then the new twist, we're coming back to these micro jobs, right? So while I know that some of our key units, we have to get them to find out who the DIN leader is and who the assistant DIN leader is. This whole micro thing is something that National has really been pushing out, right? They've come out with a new set of deck cards for the DINs, for the DIN leader programs. They're bringing program helps back for this season so that you literally can give a parent, not just the DIN leader, you want to do it on September 15th, you want to sign up to run the October 18th meeting, a DIN leader or a Cub Master can give that parent the sheet for that one meeting for them to go execute that micro job. And if bringing all that together at that parent orientation leader recruit meeting with that kind of a mindset, we think and believe with some of these new resources National having available could help us get some more parent help, so it's not stuck on those of us that have been kind of burning ourselves down. And then the last item is leader training. So we all, on the calendar is the date for every district's Cub leader training and those DIN leader trainings. There's also a lot of training online, but getting that out. That kind of stuff.
There was also a meeting the other day that has some information about your first 4 months. And it's Cub Scouts, your first 4 months, I think it's 3 or 4 months of program, which we will get out and available. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. It doesn't mean that it has to be approved by me, but before it comes out on the council website, I'd like to know what it says. So if somebody asks me a question, I know.
So on this, on our Scout Show, our Family Fun Fest, here's the details. You can sign up your unit right now on the council website, danielbooncouncil.org/Scout Show. I did a quick audit with everybody here. There are 7 units that are on this call and on this training. Thank you very much. You have a wonderful opportunity tonight to actually go to this website and sign your unit up. It's just asking for a name, a contact information, and we have added a list of suggested activities. If you're worried about what you may want to do, there's a nice list of activities there. You can change those activities later if you want to. We have doubled the size of the unit location available this year. So if you find to 4 parking spaces now?
No,
because we're in a parking lot.
Block,
Yeah, so we've doubled the standard size. If you need more space, because we got a unit doing some putt-putt and some other, if you need more space, just write the note on there. You'll get more space, right?
Ask ahead.
But ask ahead, let us know. I know from some of our Falling Waters or Mountain Mitchell units, we recognize that the distance and drive is maybe not conducive, right? And from a recruitment standpoint, there may not be too many new scouts that actually might be there. We recognize it. I will tell you, based on the data that we collected, over 15%, 150 of those people came from outside Buncombe and Henderson County last year. They came from some of our other counties that we serve, so don't think that this is an exclusive Buncombe County. But by participating as a unit, right? If you choose to do popcorn sales this year, your unit for participating will get a 5% additional commission off of for your popcorn sales by attending the Scout Show. If you attend the Scout Show, it'll also be one of the 2 criteria for you to get free rank advancement for the year. Free rank advancement is a function of your membership growth and retention. Every unit has that. Many of you got it. but attending the Scout Show is a requirement as well to get that free rank advancement. So the units that are participating, are putting in their pockets between $400 and $800 more, but if they're doing popcorn and you're doing the free rank advancement from cost savings like that. So there's a financial incentive for it. But I would say as Scout leaders and as parents, the real reason to attend is for pride and building connectivity, that we're part of a movement of youth and building citizenship and characters. And this is a great thing to kind of be in and inspire and motivate. And we're all there. And it's hard not to get excited and inspired about the scouting year. And it's a fun, easy way for you to be able to kick off. So for those 7 units that aren't, please sign up. If not, we're going to have to send our council commissioner, Ray Lynch, who's on this call, out with
Oh, Lord, y'all sign up.
with Guido, Joe, and have to arm wrestle the units. So,
Read 20 seconds on this real quick. So you mentioned, and outstanding job on this. You mentioned the popcorn commission and the rank advancement. I don't know about you all, but the price of almost everything at the Scout Shop is going up. So that's a big savings for you all from a participation standpoint. And I know the purpose of it wasn't necessarily to sign scouts up, but we had north of 20 scouts sign up at the Scout Show last year. And the Scout Shop set up tent, and they had the highest Saturday sales they've ever had at the event. So we were in the membership tent. A scout signed up, walked them next door. They purchased all their uniform and everything they need from the Scout Shop. So it's truly a turnkey event. Again, the intent was not that, but we learned a lot through that experience last year. So thank you to all of y'all who've already signed up, and we look forward to even more coming.
So, everybody who's here and all of you online, we have we have 3 from 370 who braved I-40 to 26, and 1 from Black Mountain who braved coming over here. And so thank you guys that are here, and thank you for those who are online. Our goal, of course, is to serve the youth in Western North Carolina. And everybody who's on this call or who will watch this at a later date, and those that are here, we know why you're here. We want to offer this opportunity. We believe in the opportunity and being able to offer it to as many youth as we can in Western North Carolina. And, a lot of these kids don't know it yet, but we're going to go get them. If you have questions, okay, here is our email from those of us that are here tonight. Because I made this slide, I don't know why mine's not underlined. So don't send me an email.
No hyperlink for you.
That's just no email for me. That's one of my emails. I do have a Hotmail account too that is in a lot of people's emails. But we're all here to help you answer questions. If there's something that you're not clear about, something we've talked about are good follow-up discussions for the district's August roundtable. Some of those things. So ask us. There is a lot of help. Professional staff is here to help too. Joe is here. He's actually working on new units, but he's also here to help with unit situations and what's going on with membership. That's why he's the professional who's assigned to this tonight. And and the 4th of July parade. But we all have a goal to make scouting great in Western North Carolina. And thank you all again for being here. Does anybody have any questions? I know I told you it'd be about an hour. We're at an hour and 8 minutes. But if you have a burning question, ask us.
And, yeah, and if you're on Zoom, just type the question in, on Zoom, please.
How do we find our district executive?
That would be Paul Hollier.
And yours.
Hollier. Well, he's your acting, yeah,
And he would be Paul.Hollier at scouting.org.
yeah.
That's good. Okay, thank you.
Any questions from the virtual world?
Peanut gallery out there.
All right. We appreciate everyone attending. Sign up for the Scout Show, aka Family Fun Fest. That's another plug. I feel like I'm a NASCAR driver.
Go out there, have a great summer of activities, take pictures, be safe, so we don't have to write up any reports. And y'all have a good evening.
Thanks all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.